Hello and welcome. It's the PWiSM podcast, episode 0.3, take 2. If you were paying attention or at all curious, there was no episode last week because I uploaded it the night before and got everything squared away and set YouTube to publish it at 7 a.m. on Friday or whatever it was. It died. I made a silly mistake. I used the wrong mix from SoundCloud, and it was tagged pretty heavily by YouTube's Content ID services and blocked in 241 countries. I do not know the total number of countries that YouTube operates in, but probably pretty close to 200. So that's a bummer, and sorry about that. Realized that I wanted to set a timer. This week we're going to do something a little different. I will be using intro and outro music, but I don't think I'll be using any music during the show itself. In addition, I'm going to record for an entire hour, which could be really difficult. But I feel like there's a lot of content and I barely scratched the surface of it, doing this only once a week, so maybe it's worth it. But it's something that I'm really hoping to get feedback on from folks, and maybe I'll hit a good point in there. I'm not really sure. It's just occurred to me that I didn't bring anything for me to drink, so the remaining 30 seconds of this song, I'm going to go run and grab a seltzer. Enjoy the last 30 seconds. Seeing as it didn't take 30 seconds to grab that seltzer, I'm going to pour it. That was Left Behind by the Hipsta on their album 91 Super Effective. The album art itself looks something like be related to Pokemon. So there you go. I'm using pretzel.rocks for music. I don't know if I shout these things out all the time, but they have a YouTube safe mode, so fingers crossed. We'll see what happens with the content ID tags. But let's jump into it. We got a whole bunch of tweets to read. I followed some new folks. I will say that part of what I'm trying to do with these intro episodes is, build a rhythm, build a style of how the whole thing should go. I also want to build out the proper audience to follow on Twitter. So let's jump in. Some new tweets have loaded in the middle, in the beginning here. I really didn't think this was going to show up, but it totally did. This is amazing. So I don't know the full story about this, but hopefully I'll find the two. There's a tweet pairing two pictures of this guy, Lemuel Shaw. This picture is not generally how he was depicted. There's a more classic picture of him that I can't imagine it was taken on film, but the version that I saw was incredibly detailed and looks absolutely completely different from this sort of, I think this is probably oil painting. But you see the two side to side, and you would never in a million years think it's the same person. but apparently it is. So I believe it was the Massachusetts Supreme Court asked people to help identify this painting that they had. They had no connection to anything else, and it turns out it's this guy. So, I will say one of the new things that I've followed, accounts that I followed. That's what I wanted to go with there. Is Mike Shinoda of Fort Minor and Lincoln Park. He has some new music coming out, but apparently that was a retweet 11 years ago. The Rising Tide was released. That was in 2016. So it's been 13 years. Tide was wow. I thought it was. I've mentioned Misha Cakes, and I've mentioned her webcomic Alice and the Nightmare. Apparently the next update will be on Tuesday. There won't be one this weekend. That's too bad. But she's getting back to twice weekly updates. Yes. Good stuff. Looks like Gavin Free is going to be on the Late Late Show with James Corden. There's a lot of news stuff that sort of fell in here. I scrolled through the beginning of all this. One of my favorite things in comics is when a genius character, quote unquote genius character, is written by someone who doesn't quite have a handle on what that means. In this case, the genius reads poetry and knows the square root of 1,000,000. The square root of 1,000,000. His name's Henry McCoy. Dick, he reads poetry, swings from trees, knows the square root of 1,000,000, and he's gonna kick your butt. I'm not sure that this is a writing problem. I don't know precisely who is saying this. That could be a reimagining of Jubilee, but it could be a reflection of the person saying the thing and not the character that they're saying it about. I'm not sure that's the perfect example of that. On May 1st each year, in a tradition dating back to the 16th century, the residents of Hastings, England, throw a parade where a man adorned in a cloak of leaves or a crown leads a group of dancers, monsters, spirits, and samba bands around town. Jack in the Green. Look at that. That's a dude. Wow, they dyed his beard and everything. That's cool. Yeah, I figured that was a pagan celebration. Oh, there's a new Fantastic Four. Personally, I'm very excited. I like the Fantastic. Fallen out of touch with their story, but that could be very interesting. Marvel's doing this whole reboot. I can't remember if I've mentioned. Marvel's doing this whole reboot this year of all of their sort of big and I'm excited to see what comes out of that. What's something you're grateful for today? Fun coworkers, luxury of being able to make a random podcast that I don't know if anyone will ever listen to. There's a lot to be grateful for, really, on any given day. Health, wellness, happiness. In an effort to become welcoming, Harvard scrubs pins from its alma mater song. Fair Harvard was written almost 2 centuries ago, 1836, but 2 final lines have been causing trouble for almost as long. 1836 is a lot as a it feels pretty late to be talking about Puritan. Well, not too bad. I don't know. I feel like that's very 16, 17. I don't know. I don't fully understand this. Take a popular culture thing and make a March Madness bracket out of it. But I've seen a lot of these lately. This one's interesting because I marvel, but I don't what this is supposed to be all about. Like the the interesting thing about basketball March Madness is somebody's playing the games, somebody is, winning a bracket because they're winning competitions and you know, you can have upsets and blah. These sort of popular culture brackets, like there's no thing that has to do with these things being able to compete with each other, and like Bucky Barnes and the Vision don't fight. Here we come back to Willis, David Willis. Finally remembered his full name, David M. Willis. And more of his Transformers. I say more, but I featured this sort of last week, and nobody saw it except for me. But it's super interesting, the passion that he had for trans, and totally outrageous number of pictures he has, collection. Um, Everyone's so bad. Please just prioritize being a good person above all else. There's nothing you could ever do in your career worth more than that. Sure. I don't I don't believe that everyone is. My professional experience is somewhat limited, but I don't know. I that's true. The rest of it, absolutely true. Towards being a good person, do whatever you can to help everybody else out. That's not a problem. But why is everyone so bad? They are. This is interesting. Massachusetts is diverse, but our elected officials are not. Having people in our highest offices that actually having people in our highest offices that have actually experienced trauma and inequality would bring greater empathy, understanding, and urgency for change, writes Vanessa Calderon. So I agree. However, I would be interested to know if she explores not, well, yeah, I suppose it's resistance. People who experience trauma and inequality, I don't think are tempted to become part of a system they believe is broken. I am not saying that the Massachusetts or United States or any one particular political system is broken, but I think people who come from that background have a tendency to think that, and therefore do not take action. I hope that is changing. I want to believe that is changing. I want to believe that people who come from tough backgrounds are seeing that they can enact change, and that change will occur. But we'll see. I didn't stop my timer. How long have I been going for? 16 minutes. All right, let's fix the timer. Boof. I'm gonna say is roughly a 5-minute intro, 6-minute. The Red Sox had their opening day game. Today, it was against the Tampa Bay, who actually aren't in Tampa Bay. Whoops. They were doing really well until heartthrob Joe Kelly came in and walked the bases loaded. Ended up giving up 4 earned runs, has an ERA of 108. Did Deadpool 2 change the future of X-Men cinematic universe? That's likely. But who can say? Paula Poundstone is a new person that I started following. I'm not sure what she's linking to, but I just wanted to point that out while I was there.
Here in the back.
Doing great.
Yeah.
What are we doing, Steffi?
We're trying to make a social video, Jeff.
That's a really good one. We're going to Let's Play Spring Break. Yeah! Dude, I'll be there. Steph, you'll be there.
I'll be there.
Jeff, you'll probably be there. Who are you?
Am I invited?
Shut up. Get out.
I made it here somehow.
Who let Elise
Nope.
in?
Wait.
Okay. No, Elise. Here in the back.
Well, for anybody who's interested in Let's Plays and the Let's Play family, which is part of Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter and blah, this weekend, actually tomorrow, in a little over 12 hours, I believe, they will be doing a live stream available for Rooster Teeth First members. I think it's a 12-hour live. And apparently they're going to wherever they're going to be streaming from and decided to record a video. That's Scooby Natural crossover. Watch the trailer and let us know which Supernatural and Scooby-Doo characters. You know, I feel like I should watch Supernatural, and I started it at one point. Real rough around the edges and that. This is a thing I could totally get into, but I know nothing about it. I'm not sure what this is all about. Ready Player 2. Ready Player 1 is a movie that has just come out. Sounds like it's going to be okay. Sorry, everyone. We all had really high expectations. And that... This is interesting. WBUR tweets out, do you get this a lot? Enter WBUR's Next Great Show contest, and you might get your show on the air. There's a picture of a mock iPhone iMessage thing. You should have your own radio show. They all laugh. Tell you, I fully expect this podcast to not do anything interesting, but I don't know. It's what it is. What is happening is I'm getting some pretty incredible ideas about just random stuff that I could read. Do you guys like nighttime stories? I keep thinking about this nighttime story podcast where I read a chapter of something. And just pick everyone out. I think it's maybe a half attempt at me wanting to read, but not wanting to like sit down and commit to a whole book for a long. We're really scrolling through here. Oh, this is cool. So I'll talk a lot about achievement. I like their content, but they did a video. They call it Things to Do, and they have a Things to Do in the new game Sea of Thieves, where you set up a bunch of objects in a target circle and shoot yourself from your ship into the target circle to get points. Kind of a neat idea. The cool thing about the Things to Do videos is you're playing a video game, but in a really different way. You're putting your own spin on it. Oh, we have to watch this.
One out in the inning, there's less of a chance of a big inning.
Toward the alley on the run span, and Kiermaier, and it gets between them. It's going to keep on rolling. Another run is in. Nunez rounding second. On his way to third. They're going to wave him in. Fabulous trying to bring him home. Here's the throw.
It wasn't even close. Oh my goodness, that wasn't even close. Unbelievable. So that was the first home run of 2018. It was an inside the park home run. Unbelievable. That's crazy. Yeah, and the Sox went up 3-0. I think they scored once more in the second inning to take a 4-0 lead, and then they blew it. Eduardo Nunez is the first Red Sox player to hit an inside-the-park home run on opening day since Carl Yastrzemski on April 10th, 1968, Detroit. Unbelievable. Oh, excuse me. I'm recording this at night again, and I think it's a lot better for me to do it at night than try to do it in the morning, but there's going to be a few times where I just need a hot slap in the face. This is the Let's Play Spring Break thing I'm talking about. And they're going, yeah, it's a 12-hour event. They're going 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. They're starting with Super Smash Brothers on the Wii, which is interesting. And then they're ending the day with Ghost Stories by the Campfire. That's all about it, but it could be interesting. All times in Pacific. So actually I'll miss between work and going out after. That's too bad. They are rebroadcasting it, I believe, on Saturday and Sunday. Still for Rooster Teeth First member. Something. Plum Island Pink House. Plum Island is not the island I thought it was, but I'm going to read this now. Stop that. Local lore says this house was built as part of a divorce agreement between a couple in the 1920s. The husband was required to build an exact replica of the family home for his wife, but she didn't specify exactly where, so he built it on a salt marsh. It's a nice looking house. Yeah, it's on the salt marsh. More Red Sox hype. More Red Sox hype. More local news. The brand new, still unfinished casino going up in Everett. Going up for Wynn Resorts, but they're considering dropping the Wynn after sexual misconduct allegations were made against Steve Wynn. I won't go there. But it has nothing to do with the name on the building. I just don't really care. What if a video game knew people were streaming it? This, I don't know what game they're talking about here. I assume they're talking about a specific game. Sort of weird because the landscape looks like Sea of Thieves, but the weapons, HUD, and their player don't look like Sea of Thieves at all. This is a big thing that I expect to happen in video the next few years. There's going to be very tight stream integration. Either allowing for random events to occur or buffing a player or hurting them in some particular way. I'm really interested. Also interested. Adnan Syed, subject of the serial's first season, is getting a new trial. If you haven't heard Serial the podcast, and for anyone who's not watching the video, not cereal like the breakfast food, cereal like one after another. I'm not sure this will take anybody necessarily by surprise. It was clear his trial wasn't quite full in information that has come. Also, wasn't super clear whether or not he did it, so that'll be interesting too. Good for him. Blah blah. Oh, interesting. A complete guide to Star Wars The Last Jedi cinematic references and inspirations. I thought these two gifts were here to demonstrate what Star Wars looked like, not that it was influenced by that particular thing. That's actually pretty cool. I know this movie is pop, but the movie I would expect it to be is not in black and white. Oh, here we go. I also started following this cute emergency Twitter account. They do kind of funny. But this one is when everyone smells the fart and knows it's you, doesn't say anything. Silent. Man, I love dogs. I gotta say, dogs are pretty awesome. Oh, this is more Volkswagen fallout. 300,000 Volkswagens are being stored in these massive auto yards. Whoa, what? Quote, we're not interfering. This is no different than like a scanner radio where activities are picked up on the scanner. Text message service being tested in Somerville would warn people of federal immigration raid. That's super interesting. The mayor of Somerville has taken an official stance that, we will protect, essentially, I believe his message, we will protect the people who live in our city from oppression, discrimination, etc., etc. Which in Massachusetts, not totally outrageous. And certainly, there's a separation between federal and state and local authority, all those kinds of things. So that it doesn't say that this is a city-run service. Private thing. Oh, a little throwback Thursday, back to some... Yeah, I guess that's a link to the past. I don't know all of my Zelda games off the top of my head, I have to admit. I didn't play any of the original, like, NES or anything like that. The first Zelda game I played was on Game Boy, Link's Awakening. I played the ever-loving crap out of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And in the episode last week that nobody saw, I talked about how incredible the Switch is, and very likely mentioned how incredible Breath of the Wild is. I am having an absolute blast playing through. Uh-oh, Sea of Thieves gets its first wave of of hackers. There are plenty of attackers. But that's really too bad. Yeah. That'll forever be the problem with PC. Get hackers. People who can analyze game data files, source files and things, and malicious things with them. Further complicated actually with Sea of Thieves because there's a PC console crossplay. You don't have to all be on the same system to play together. And I'm sure that just causes all sorts of console. Local man hoping Polygon or whatever will criticize game so he has excuse to buy it. I have to say, I tend to look for criticism, sometimes harsh criticism of games that I want. Far Cry 5, I think, is probably a good reference. This headline is saying, and is an example of a game that I was sort of like, might check it out. And then I saw someone like really giving it a harsh review. But I was like, I get into this. I haven't played any of the Far Cry games, so I could probably play 4 for a lot cheaper than I would play Far Cry 5, but spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the second season of Jessica Jones. It's recent enough that I'm comfortable. Writing culture is closing Twitter on your laptop because you need to work, and immediately opening Twitter on your phone to see what the other smaller Twitter is up to. That's the nice thing about this creative podcast. I just read Twitter. Massachusetts state senators clash with telecom over net neutrality rule. Senators put representatives of internet service providers on the hot seat when hearing on a Senate bill intended to promote fair internet practice. Way to go. It's state I'm proud to call home. I'm sure we're not the only ones. I know like California, Oregon were all about that. There are probably a handful of Americans love caffeine, but few realize just how ancient North American craving for caffeine is. In particular, Casina was the caffeinated beverage of choice for the indigenous North Americans and early colonists. It's since faded into obscurity. I certainly have. Oh, don't actually bring that up. Yes. Finally found the right button to bring me back to what it was. Roll through. Massachusetts and utilities ditch Hampshire routed northern pass for hydro project through Maine. Electric distribution companies working with the state have decided to finalize a contract for the 145-mile New England Clean Energy Connect transmission project in Maine. So they're not going to cut through New Hampshire. I'm fairly certain no piece of Massachusetts directly contacts New Hampshire on land. I'm sure that. Wow, look at that handwriting. Opening day lineup for Red Sox. We may get to this tweet later on, but this is actually, I don't know if the first ever or the first in recent history, but all of the infielders for the Boston Red Sox today, infield starters, were not born in the United States. So I'm going to try to bring up these two WBO tweets. One's about Michigan State abuse or victims, but they linked the wrong article. I've seen this happen a lot with WBUR, and it gives me pause. I doubt that majority of their clicks are coming from Twitter. Just some gut feeling, you think that, but little extra, review would. Here we go. So I've also started following Dan Casey. He works with Chris Hardwick at Nerdist, and has some things of his own. Look him up in your own time. but I sort of expected he would have some thoughts on Ready Player One. He says Ready Player One is my least favorite film of 2018. It is a loud, abrasive, empty. It is a tale told by an acclaimed director, full of sound and references, dignified. And then links to another person. They explain it more eloquently. It's review. Stay there. Sort of disappointing. Paula Poundstone. Breaking news. Russia closing St. Petersburg consulate, taking back their salad dressing recipe. Oh, this is interesting. If you don't listen to or follow current events in the United States, there's been some concerns over questions that can or cannot be asked on the census. Atlas Obscura has a nice tweet here. The original census, 1790. George Washington, president, right around that. They like 6 or that could be. At any rate, asked, but the original census asked just 4 questions. The number of free white males aged under 16 years and of 16 years and upward. Number of free white females. Number of other free persons. Number of. This is sort of an interesting thing to think about. We have all of this data. Fudged, perhaps a little bit. But all of this interesting data that can track race nationally. It would be cool to see a series of census questions. I don't remember what the heck the census asks these days, but I feel like it's a 20-page essay. One or another, you will cry. Huh. Netflix, that's a really weird thing to tweet out without link, hashtag suggesting what show this is supposed to be. Seems very teen drama though. Age of Empire. Forgot that they remastered. On this day in history, this is from The Onion, not real. On this day in history, Trump unveils sprawling new presidential retreat where he can escape from stresses. Ooh, jeez, I can't eat it all tonight. Where he can escape from stresses of Mar-a-Lago. What? 2001: A Space Odyssey is returning to theaters. Dang. It's been a long time. I think I watched that movie full through once when I was younger. I started it a couple of times. Just couldn't quite make it. There was enough slow parts in the movie that lost interest. At some point, I think I made it through the whole thing, but it just it was tough. But now, being older, that could be interesting. Oh, there's an official Jessica Jones. That's interesting. We'll buy that because that's actually still a spoiler, and I just talked about how I would do it. You may know Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead and Burn Notice. Fantastic television show that. This is a different Bruce Campbell who purchased a retired Boeing 727 and turned it into his home, which is pretty cool. We're having a really excellent conversation about tiny homes, mobile home, converting transportation into homes today at lunch at work. That's pretty cool. They created a Mr. Rogers Funko Pop head or whatever they. I don't get it. I have a couple, I think, be at work or somebody has a couple, and like they're cool. It's a cool thing to be like, hey, look at this thing that signifies a thing that I care about. But the people who have like covered their whole room and, you know, you want pop lighting to show them all off. I'm just not much of a collector. Wait. What? Look, it's just not the Fantastic Four if Reed isn't telling Sue to shut up because she's a gross woman. What? This must be a review for one of the Fantastic Four movies or something. The result is a full spectrum attack on anything masculine or perceived to be masculine. This war on men has moved into popular culture and infected Hollywood to the core. Goodness, I can't. Oh, excuse me. Woo. Just under 20 minutes. Oh, here it is. Yes. Oh, I knew we would get to it. So, okay, here are these two pictures. So this one on the right-hand side, most images of Shaw look like the right image. So this has to be a photo. This has to be a photo. It's really interesting for 18, 30, 60, or whenever it was taken. The one on the left we saw earlier in that WBOR tweet. And are the same person, which clearly he had a different haircut and was probably a little younger based on the way his eyes look and cheeks and things like that. But it would have been a big stretch for me to say this. Perhaps the eyebrows give it away. It's too bad the right eyebrow in the right hand picture super shaded. Other one looks like it's very distinct. Left hand looks very distinct. It's also not looking at the camera in the. Anyway, oh yeah, here's a little factoid. Each starting infielder for the Red Sox today born outside of the 50 United States. Christian Vasquez was born in Puerto Rico. Henry Ramirez, Eduardo Nunez, and Rafael Devers were all born in Dominican Republic, and Xander Bogaerts was born in Aruba. Dang. Be a heck of a team this year. I'm excited for what happens with the Red Sox. What? Somebody put a tiny little hat on their lizard. could be a problem with doing an hour-long podcast. I'm getting off Johnny, and I apologize immensely. One of the principal side effects of the Trump era is that it makes sane people sound crazy. I should have said principal. Try it. Principal epiphenomena. Sure. Because more pretentious equals better. Good Lord, what even is that? The parody time cover with really looking Keebler elf. What? It just reminded me that I have Thin Mints and I didn't have any Oh, here we go. Here's a Fantastic Four announcement tweet from Marvel. See that again. That was cool. Dang. Bad comics aren't animated. Have that in the those old bend them and whatever. Meet Kenny. Gets nervous during car rides. Only feels safe if you hold him close and massages him. 12 out of 10. Anything for you, Kenny. I was going to talk about a thing that I mentioned last week, and then I remembered nobody knows what I said. Last week's episode could have been the greatest thing ever, and it will never see the light. Ooh. A lumbering nostalgia party. Spielberg's Ready Player One speeds in reverse. Ouch. Ooh, Jeff. Must party your comic. Due to your computer. But it's okay, because you got this little puppy taking some steps. Because it's yeah, next weekend. Whoops. I will have been in possession of my dog for a whole year. One thing that just every so often gets me. Didn't get her as a puppy. Year old when we got her. Just you don't get those little silly puppy things. She still does silly things, don't get me wrong. We don't get the puppy stuff. And that's really too bad. 9 chapters, 69,234 words. In 9 chapters. Sounds impressive. 3 generous deadline extensions, 16 months minus a bit of time to have one quick baby in the middle, and my book is finally finished. Anyone needs me, I'll be the very drunk lady at the pub. Hello world. What? What's the name of the book? be Anna Fry. Promote your book. You should say the name of the book. Although I suppose it's not out yet. Yeah, it probably. I need a little editing, publishing. Okay. Be on the lookout. Thought it was 29th of March 2018. A duck of the day. That's a real duck. That's a real duck with Snake from Metal Gear Solid. I don't know which Metal Gear Solid, but is Snake riding a duck. Makes perfect sense, really. Why are all these thing? Is it for like stop motion? Be okay with it. Speaking of ducks. On the latest Nerdist special report, watch as ordinary pasta is turned into a razor-sharp knife. Whoa, that's a piece of pasta? Dang. That's crazy. I think my light living room just turned out. It's getting close to 11. Absolutely getting close to time where this is going to have to get wrapped up. Something that I started listening to over the last couple of weeks is the Adventure Zone, a D&D podcast. So I started following a couple of those folks. I was going to say, I can't remember if I mentioned this last week. Justin McElroy tried his hand at DMing a very goofy one-shot arc you'll hear as a Max Fun bonus episode. Not passed over. He is typing this. He did not want to do a mini arc. It has so many children. I meant to look up Max Fun and see if they had a Twitter account. The Maximum Fun Network is this neat little network of shows, apparently now officially affiliated with NPR, or American Public Radio. But, you know, they help people make podcasts about things that people want to make podcasts about. So, personally for me, it's very interesting. But I'm also starting to get way into deep. That helps. Oh, I'm going to skip over that because that's season 2 of the Adventure Zone, and I'm nowhere close to that. I'm still back in like 2016 episodes. Like Russian roulette, but with spicy peppers. The unpredictable peppers of Padron. Cool. That out. If you love Japanese tea, you'll definitely want to check out Unomi.life. This is a referral link that gets me a few extra points to buy tea with. It's also a great place to buy Japanese tea. Unomi is a bridge to Japan, introducing over 125 small-scale producers of artisanal Japanese tea. Cool. I'm okay with that. I like tea. I don't know that I've had a lot of. This is interesting. Hurt by Nine Inch Nails versus Hurt by Johnny Cash. Nails? Johnny Cash. Nails? Nine Inch Nails with a cowboy hat. I mean, Johnny Cash. Lots of baseball tweets. That's okay. It was an exciting day. So many puppies. Someday. Someday I will have a puppy, and whoever they are. Daily meditation really helping man self-centered. I don't think they mean balanced. Well, today Katy Perry ate way too many nuggets on Japanese TV. I'm gonna blow this up. Hopes that I could see the rest of her hair. Got a Miley Cyrus looking haircut kind of. Perry was really interesting for there. Doing now. Checked in with her music in a long time. Kind of good, something good to really go out on here. What? Korean TV's food slapping trope. That is absolutely a thing I could continue to watch over and over again. That's like I think it was the panda cheese commercials where the panda just comes in and just starts like throwing stuff off a table, and I think there might be one where he flips a table over and as we continue to welcome spring, at Come Circle Round presents a Native American legend about where summer and winter come from. Oh, cool. Great Wesley Stu stars in Grandfather's Son. Oh, this is like a thing that's out. Maybe Come Circle Round is a storytelling podcast. Huh. Oh, excuse me. Hiccuping kind of hurts. That's really cool. No Man's Sky is coming to Xbox One. I really care about that, but I do. I mean, well, I probably won't get it again, but cool that that No Man's Sky is not just going away. It's a cool enough idea. Really wish. My baloney has a predecessor. It's Mortadllalog. I don't think that's work. I don't think that works. Baloney. First name, it's Oscar. Yeah. That. Sorry, Alice. You tried. But not quite. I have mixed feelings about bologna. In much the same way I have mixed feelings about other processed food like hot dogs. Sausages, not really. Sausages are hot dogs and bologna. Sometimes they just sort of creep me out. Anyway. Oh, that timer is about to go off, so we came to an understanding. People who post their cats. And for that matter, people who post their dogs. Yeah. We're all pretty the same. She's mad at me because I won't let her hang out on the deck. I will say, cats are far more moody than dogs. These are whoa, edible dice. Oh, that's a real mistake. There it is. We've done our hour of content. I mean, we could just keep going forever, but I'm already yawning. I have to take the dog out. Really bad. So let's watch this video because this looks cool. Oh, decided that she needed her own place to lay down. Assuming it's her, Maya. There you have it. It's another episode of the PWiSM podcast. This has been the past week in social media. Really, it's been like the past day in social media, but I tried. We're gonna go out with Stargazer's theme by James Flamestar on the album Stargazer. This is episode 0.3, take 2. And you might be wondering, geez, Matt, you started with episode 0. This is point 3. What happened to point 1, point 2? No. There are only going to be 4 pilot episodes. 0, 03, 09. And I'm not going to round it because the next episode after 09. So we have a few more, basically. I'm going to keep experimenting with things. I feel like the music helps fill in the pieces where I'm just sort of scrolling. I don't want to try to become accustomed to speaking about random stuff as I'm scrolling, because I feel like it's very choppy and I'll never finish a full thought. Hard enough for me as it is to try to finish a full but we'll keep experimenting. We'll keep finding a thing that works and a thing that doesn't take the YouTube videos completely down. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, all the usual YouTubey goodness. If you really enjoyed it, tell a friend. This is just a thing that I'm doing to experiment. I may never get to episode 1. You know, I may put all these pilot episodes, watch them all, and just say, yeah, this format's just really and I'll come up with something different. But this is different, and I'm excited to see what happens next. So I'll keep doing it for now. You can follow me on Twitter. You can join my Discord, where you get information. You can get information about this show, get information about my live streams. You can follow me on my live streams on Mixer. All of those things are previously in the video. All those usernames are there. You can sort that out on your own time. I won't run them off now. Really, I'm just chewing up a little bit of time so that maybe the music in the outro will work a little bit better to wrap up the video in a normal time frame. But worst comes to worst, I'll see you next week. I think the Thursday night recordings are working fairly well for me, as long as I start them early enough that I don't yawn through. And I'll have a little bit more flexibility, I think. Yay! But I will get out of the way here. Let the music take you out. They have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, assuming that you're watching this around that time frame. Stay well. Be kind to each other. And don't forget to come. We'll see you next time.